Hey gang, welcome back to the Junpei Show. A silly spot where we think a lot and we feel with our whole dang hearts. Tune in for the self-discovery journey full of problems and solutions and where it will always be June all the time. Guys, it's been a while. Whew, guess who's back? Guess who's back? Back. Is this gonna be a problem? My necklace is a little long. Oh, but yeah, guys, it's been a minute. I don't even know technically when I last recorded. I'm gonna go on a limb and say like 2 months ago. I don't know if it's been a full 2 months since I put it out, but I did tell you guys that if I didn't have anything to say, I wasn't gonna say anything. So I'm back. I've been gestating. I've been working on some new things. I don't know if that's the right word, but just different things, other things. If you do follow me here, go ahead and like do that now if you don't. Haha. You should have seen a teaser for something that I've been working on. So I might do some more teasers through this episode. I'm not entirely sure yet, but either way, I'm back. It's been a while since I last saw you. Sorry, fam. Sorry to leave you hanging. I did have one of my friends like think I like put one out because of something I said on Instagram, like trying to promote the channel. But it was like, to be fair, no offense to my friend, it was something I had said like several other posts too. So I was just like copy pasting it. Maybe I had tweeted that time though, to be fair. Anyway, she was like, oh my God, like I like got all excited thinking there was an episode and then there wasn't and I was devastated. I was like, oh my God, my bad, dude. Like, honestly. So anyway, I'm back. It's been a while. To be honest, I'm not back with like good news, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that means. But like things have happened in my life, as they always do. Like that happens, right? But I've been cultivating some things to say to you guys, and literally all week like this has been like brewing, and like I didn't sit down to like figure out what I was gonna like talk about like entirely until today, where I just actually like pieced it together into some form of like coherency. You're welcome. But you know, I've been sitting on it and like honestly, excuse me, one moment. Excuse me. This is cold, but it's great for cows. So I was supposed to work today, like all day, and on Tuesday this week, which was a big day for me, I found out both of my clients needed to reschedule and cancel and shit. So I was like, oh, but then I was like, well, you know what? I think something's brewing. So like probably for the best. And like, to be fair, I had originally, like when I was blocking out days like months ago, like work-wise, scheduling life-wise, today was supposed to be a creative day. So it's like when it fell apart, it's like, well, you know what? It was meant to be. So here I am. But like I said, some things have happened. And so I did say Tuesday was a big day for me. You might, let me make sure. I'm showing you this right. I got a tattoo. Ah, can't show you. Can you see it? Why is this so hard? I'll insert a pic if I need to. But it's a match. Thank you, Scott. He'll definitely be on my Instagram or somewhere. Go find him. We did a touch up too, because this text had always been shoddy. Anyway, quality. So Tuesday I got a tattoo. This. I had been wanting it for several months, at least. I don't know how long, maybe 3 to 6 months, maybe longer, who knows? Time isn't real, as I always say. But I didn't officially schedule this tattoo until this past Thursday. So like not even a full week before. And, it was like my first time booking with this guy. And I didn't know if I could get down there early enough, like for a longer session. So I was like, let's just like do this one. Like we can plan other stuff, you know, in the future. Booked it, put a deposit down on Thursday. So it was finalized. Well, that's relevant because in hindsight, which I found this out on Tuesday, the day of getting this tattoo, I found out I've struggled to like define what this person is to me. I'm gonna go ahead and start with an old friend. An old friend I found out over the weekend had passed. On Tuesday morning, first thing, because I'd been looking for information. I needed to know what happened. I was honestly distraught when I found out this person was no longer living. And this was someone this is where I struggle to like, how do I define this person? 10 plus years ago, technically they were my sorority sister. To me now, they were someone I was reconnecting with. They were somebody that I felt like was a kindred spirit to me, who had inspired me a lot, like in making this channel, in putting my art out there, like into the world, like sharing my poetry, like being vulnerable on the internet. Like she was a big inspiration for that for me. And we had been reconnecting. I was really like just constantly inspired by her, and like it's hard to even like define or like quantify what this person like meant to me in my life, even like though we weren't like technically close anymore. But like I said, I felt like we were kindred spirits, and like that we were really similar, like souls. And on Tuesday I found out, and I had wondered this, but I found out she took her own life. And it breaks my heart. Like, honest to God. I'm gonna try and not get emotional too much or at all. That'd be ideal. But I'm going off script entirely, but it is what it is. It just, like I said, it broke my heart, and it felt like this person like had publicly been sharing in the last year or so her mental health journey and her fight against depression per se and burnout. And to throw another like layer on top of this, I feel like this person would be okay with me sharing this because they had made it public. And you know, we're promoting visibility within this. And this is another reason why I felt so like aligned with this person and like what they stood for and who they are, who they were. I don't know. They were late diagnosed AuDHD. So if you don't know what that means, that's autism, and ADHD, like having both of those, developmental disabilities, you could say. If you didn't know, if you haven't seen my past shit, I'm AuDHD. So there you go. I have a whole podcast episode from my old show, called I'm Coming Out. I believe it's episode 42. You can go check it out. I talk about it there. So this person was also speaking out in public about finding out about this and what that looked like for her, and like in her journey and how it affected her. And like I would say, I believe they experienced multiple, probably, but I know like autistic burnout, and that's something I want to speak about more today, and something I relate with a lot, but also all of it. I related to this person because I've been there, I am there, I see you. And finding out that they had taken their life, it felt like that could be me, I guess. And it also just broke me because, like, they were such a beautiful human being, and I know they had so much more to share with the world, and it's not fair that they're gone too early. And like I said, it breaks my heart. So that's something that's happened within that's come into my world within the last week. And it's rocked me. It's like entirely rocked me. So I want to talk about it. I think that everything that I'm going to talk about today deserves to be talked about. I believe this person would stand by what I'll say and what I think, and like, I hope I can do justice to like their message as well. I would love to continue talking about it in the future. God, get it together. But yeah, I'm gonna pause and like regroup and come back. Give me one sec. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? It looks like you're recording. This is future June tuning in to correct the past. I seem to have a technical glitch that for some reason provided no audio for the first 5+ minutes of this segment of this video. And I'm wondering, because it cuts in perfectly, almost like with the start of a new topic, if this was the universe trying to edit me. So I'm going to just let it happen. And I believe I talked about a little recap of existential loneliness, quotes around that. You can tune into the last episode where I talked about that. That's the feeling of, or the idea of being surrounded by people but feeling alone. Like I said, go to the last episode. And also, I believe that I got pretty passionate about why I want to talk about this topic in general. Then I get into, and I think I honestly get into it later in the video. So you know what? I'm just gonna let it be. So let's move on into the next topic. Thanks for bearing with me. Haha, bye. Non-existence ideation. Have I talked about this? Like, I literally like feel like I did, but like maybe I didn't. Maybe I just have to some people and that's why it feels that way. But let me pull up, okay, right here. So I actually found out about this like term for like this let's say symptom, something you can experience, I don't know, whatever, was just in one of my silly fun Pinterest deep dives. Not really, I wasn't searching for anything, I don't think, at the time, but I found something that was comparing depression, which I knew I was experiencing at the time because I was so low, and autistic burnout, which, like, yeah, sure, I've heard of, but like maybe I don't know what that really is or looks like, or really at the time I don't think I realized or even totally knew about how, like, all the different types of burnout you can have, like ADHD burnout, autistic burnout, name it. I think there's quite a few others. So it was doing what's the type of like chart, Venn diagram? Don't quote me. Where it's like the two circles and like obviously like they're describing two different things and then the overlap is like telling you some shit too. I saw it in that. So like depression, autistic burnout, what's both? But at the bottom of this, so it says, it describes what bleep thoughts, suicidal thoughts, would look like. So thoughts and behaviors related to the desire to end one's life. So at the time, it's like I was kind of like realizing there was some deep down like issue around this, but I never related to that. Like the desire to end my life, anyone's life, you know, like not at all would I say I related to that. But it's also like I was realizing like I don't want to be alive. Or at least I didn't like living. I was not enjoying it. It felt like the hardest struggle of my life. Like it felt like I was fighting for my life in a way. So then compare that, what I just, you know, KMS, to the other side, the autistic burnout side. And it says non-existence ideation. I had never heard of this before. So it says a longing for demands and sensory input to stop, sometimes leading to daydreams of non-existence. And like, it shocked me how much that like rang a bell within me. Like, it was one of those, like the chord was struck. Life was different now. I've learned something I can't ignore. And I guess I thought I would read something that I wrote, just happened to journal. For some reason, it just stopped recording. Alright, fingers crossed that this works. For some reason, it keeps happening at me. So I want to read something that I put in my little phone journal that's usually just kind of like brain dump, word vomit kind of vibes. So, coffee break. Okay, this is from March. Before I found out about the non-existence ideation, like term, that it existed. I wrote, I am so tired. So tired. I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to move my body. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to perform. Grab the mask and force it onto my face. Standing in the dark alone with a spotlight on my fake smile. Laughing so I don't cry. Joking so I don't tell the truth. Hiding in plain sight. I didn't even remember writing that. I like stumbled into that today. Trying to piece this like thought process together, and it made me sad to read that, obviously. But good job, nailed it. There's some words to kind of like describe that feeling. Put a glimpse to it if you like can't yet. And I'm curious how many of you like this is resonating with, you know, like I encourage you to not run away from that, but you do you, and everything's in your own time. But I guess I want to like also talk about what I've been doing since then. That's like changed that feeling within me, because I can confidently say today that I don't relate to the non-existence ideation at all. Within the last at least couple months, maybe longer, couldn't tell you, I relate more to gratitude for being alive, for getting time, more time, for getting the opportunity to keep going and experience new things. And so I want to read something that I found from like an internet person. I'll tag them below. They I did the if I ever talked about a poetry club or like class, online class. I definitely talked about it on Instagram. So that's who this person is. So I'm just gonna read this excerpt I found from their page. I think they call this a poem, but it feels more like a essay-esque. So anyway. Existential philosophy. Ding, ding, ding. Hadn't heard of it. Highlighted it. Existential philosophy theorizes that life is inherently meaningless, and it is the responsibility of each individual to look within and construct their own meaning, to find the thing that makes their heart sing. As an artist, this is a liberating idea because it suggests that life itself is an act of creativity. Each day, we are choosing our purpose and writing our stories one sentence at a time. The only way to find your true path is to first get lost. You have to wander away from the comfortable known and excavate your soul to discover the inner compass that points to your true north. This isn't a process of learning or achieving, but of unlearning the social programming that is obscuring your nature. Deep down, you already know the way. Whew. That's some good shit. Good job, dude. I think that's words are inspiration on Instagram. Hopefully I nailed that. Anyway. I think that's a great way to sum up what I've done since then. So I talked about in episode 1, I believe, the like we need your art concept, or at least like in some way, shape, or form. I talked about that art challenge I did to like spark myself back into creativity, into creating in general in any way, shape, or form, like which I was doing very little of consistently before that. And to be fair, I haven't journaled like that ever since, but the amount of output creatively is like exponential compared to before. So nailed it, check mark, great. I guess by living that mantra of just like letting the art flow whenever it feels right, whenever it feels natural, like living in that moment and pausing. And also just kind of like learning to identify with like living like an artist, which like I've never, like being an artist, like I'm even a hairstylist. I've been a hairstylist for 5+ years. And my old manager at my first salon, I remember, was like introducing me to like somebody's like redo client that like I just was helping with because availability, you know. And she's like, "This is your artist today," and I was kind of like, "Oh, ew." Don't call me that. Like I always felt like I was more of like either like a stylist or a designer, somebody who like took things that already existed and made it something cooler, newer, prettier, insert adjective, insert motive. But like I don't feel like I identify with artists because I didn't think I was like making anything new. And I know a lot of fucking people can identify with that. Because I've had a conversation like that about, or with one of my friends about that. Like I'm stealing ideas, like nothing's my idea, but it's like, no, you're getting inspiration from lots of things, and then you're turning it into something new. So I guess that like existential philosophy idea, like just kind of like wrap that up for me, and it's like helped me pivot a little bit. I saved that in June. You can see my like timeline a little bit. But I want to skip ahead to something that I wrote today. And this is more in line with like how I want to live. In a perfect world, maybe how I would want others to live. I don't know. So let me pivot. And this will explain the title of the video, I think. I think I'm titling it the same title as this like little short essay, short story, personal essay. I don't know. You decide. Also, teaser, I hope to have like all my writings like living somewhere online cohesively like sometime soon. If I do, when you're watching this, like it'll be down below. If it's not there, it doesn't exist yet. So teaser, come back for that, follow for that. Okay, so like I said, I want to read this essay. The day a bird shit on me and realizing I want to live. I laughed maniacally when I realized. Splat. But it wasn't raining. Not a cloud in the sky. Right on my shin. Such a small surface area, sitting with my legs crossed on my deck. You hit the bullseye, little bird. Nice one. Some would be annoyed. Maybe even forsaken with my own love of birds. As a bird girl, this could take me down. Even the birds reject me? But no, I was placed in exactly the right time, the right place for this bird to shit on me. I had been reading some of my older poetry, looking for just the right one to show how much I've never wanted to live. To exist, to be more exact. And I had just found the right one that shows enough of my angst and dissatisfaction with this world and life for my current circumstances. Had finished reading the last line, feeling the rightness of it, when I felt that splat that could only signify literal shit landing on me for the first time in my life, at least per my shitty memory. LOL. The laughter quickly turned into tears. Loud, teeth-chattering sobs. Not for the first time this week. Not even close. LOL. I've been sad for days, questioning existence and mental health and creation and community and really just the order of things as a whole. However, luckily for me, I had the realization about 6 weeks ago that I in fact do want to live. Crazy idea, right? Both to think that thought and to own it after the fact. Ha ha ha. Maybe we should walk it back a few steps. What do I mean by realizing I want to live? Well, to me, it means embracing living as a choice instead of something that was forced onto me by being born into this world. Seeing each day as a gift, as a chance to both enjoy each moment to the best of my ability, and as a chance to start over again and again, as many times as I need or want to. Because I do believe we were all placed here for a reason. Every star and molecule and sets of circumstances that had to conspire to bring each and every one of us into being did so for a reason. And whether you believe that or not is entirely up to you. Lord knows I didn't for a long while. But you still made it here, onto this planet, at this exact time, out of the millions of combination of genes and cells that could have existed instead of you. And yet here you are, alive, bright and shining until your last day. Even if you don't know it. Like I didn't, until 30 plus years into my time on this earth. Because truly living is hard and doesn't always feel like a gift at all. It can feel heavy and brutal and unimportant and random and a million other really truly hard things. But each day that you wake up, you win a new chance at living. Just one more day. So how are you going to spend it? Personally, I'm choosing to dream more, live bigger, speak loudly, and use my voice boldly. If the alternative is bearing down, hating existence, I no longer want it. I want to live, to feel, to cry and laugh and sing and dance. I'll praise any God you wish, if it means me and mine and yours. I'll live happily, embracing the humanity we've been blessed with, even if just in this moment. So thank you, bird with a stellar shot, for shitting on me in a moment that I could have turned sour, but instead chose sweet, and embraced the luck I've decided you've bestowed onto me. Seizing this day and making it mine, and hopefully convincing you to make it yours. I'll take what you can throw at me, and keep going. And now that's what I call wanting to live. Um, excuse me. I think this is the part of the video where I kind of pivot into like the happy side. We had the dark, now let's try the light. Let's aim for it. Let's look for it. I'm realizing I didn't even finish my like intro story. Excuse me. I was talking about the tattoo. Can you see it? I talked about the timing. I booked it, got it on a day where I found out more news, more sad news that I'd already been grappling with. But I didn't tell you why I had chosen this and why the timing felt perfect. I had chosen this match idea to begin with because I saw some art that had text with a match that said, "Keep burning." I thought it could be my reminder every day that I choose that. So it just felt like so incredibly relevant to me that the day I booked it is the day someone else like didn't win that fight. And the day I got it is the day I like found that out. And it really felt like it was like in honor of this person. I'm gonna forever remember it that way. I mean, it's just like, how can I not? I have like such goosebumps. I think it's because, I mean, I want to carry the spirit of this person anyway with me, and I hope others do too, because they were a bright light spotlighting really dark, heavy shit. And yet, even by doing that and by opening up to the world about that, they still ended up losing. But if people talk about this person's story and other people's stories, like, it's not in vain. At least in my opinion. Like, I believe, like, no one's truly gone until they're forgotten. And, like, I'm not gonna let people be forgotten, and not in my lifetime. So, I loved how this person used their art to heal, or to try to heal. And it was such an inspiration for me to open up and show that, like, the really dark shit. And so I guess, how do we find the light in this? Well, if you've ever had related to any of this, or if you didn't, if you relate to other dark things, if you relate to just depression, anxiety, whatever, I really want to implore you, like, I think that's part of my life's theme. You'll see more to come in this realm, with the theme. But, like, we need your fucking art. To me, art is what is, like, saving me. It allows me to pour out the hurt, the pain, the grief, the sadness, the anger, the fear, the discomfort, everything that's in a shadow, and get it out of my system so that I can stop feeling so heavy. And I want to show a couple, like, excerpts from a couple clips on YouTube. I will, of course, source them. But this first one is the author of that book I mentioned in, I guess, episode 1. It was like the art challenge. We need your art. Amy McNee. So I'm pulling this from her TED Talk. Let me pull it up. So I want to start with the title of her TED Talk, or this video, is "The Case for Making Art When the World is on Fire." All right, let's try this again. Oh, it always happens like this, don't it? Okay, so I'm gonna play the first clip I have from this video. Okay, listen, pay attention.
Existential depression, this idea that, we consume the news. So many of us are experiencing a sort of existential depression. This idea that, we consume the news and we're like, I can't do anything about this. I have no agency. I have no power. I have no purpose. And we're seeing like an epidemic of meaninglessness. Like we just don't feel like there's any use to us. Dr. Alok Kanogia talks about this particularly with young men. And because we have this huge, like, what's the point of going forward? We see a lot of people relying on lateral experiences. So because there's no point to our future, it's all hopeless. We're instead indulging in things like phone addiction, gambling addiction, porn addiction, game addiction. I truly believe a solve here when we are consuming so much hard news about the world. And it's so reasonable for us to feel so terribly depressed about the future, is to come back to our art, to come back to our creativity. And please remember, like, you can be creative in so many different ways. Again, no one is exempt from this conversation. When we create.
So basically, that was a better way of explaining, in my words, that art can almost treat the existentialism that can almost feel endless if you're stuck in it. If you're stuck in like a depression or a lifelong state of this, I mean, yeah. But also with this like crazy world, I want to offer another lens where like art can also like almost heal another aspect to like our broken world. So let me jump ahead. Same clip, same video.
So guilty for taking herself away from the climate change space to do something that is so trivial and so frivolous. And again, this is the narrative that we have to break down. We have to understand that art is activism, that it is inherently political to use your voice and to take up space with whatever it is you're making. Legislation and policy are important, but I am moved by art, and the culture is moved by art. We are impacted on a very human level when we consume creations. It is political. You can change the world with your art. Use your creations to seek the change you want in this world. Making art is activism.
Isn't that f***ing huge? I guess that's what I feel like I'm doing with this channel. And I didn't know I had a voice until a couple years ago. And then I slowly build that up, and then I'm finally kind of like totally jumping out of the box where it's like, I'll say whatever I want. You'll see more soon to come. Hit subscribe. like the video for more. But like, now I can talk about what matters to me. And I encourage you all to do that. And like, obviously, like, have some logic. Don't be radical. But you can use your voice. That's why we have it. So, jumping ahead again, another kind of like personal philosophy of mine is, or like at least how I want to live, is to leave the world a better place than like how I found it, how anyone found it. And she makes a good point about this, so let me jump ahead.
Whether that's my dad writes me poetry, that's his legacy. I'm not asking you to become a world famous artist, though I will absolutely back you if that's what you choose to do. But I am asking you to start making stuff, start taking up space. Leave a legacy, leave this world with something beautiful. We're human beings, we are just born to create things.
And it's not even about what we leave behind, it's about what we create today. What we create for others, for ourselves today. It's not just about what we leave behind, but you could also, if you have children, if you have people who look up to you, it ripples out. And I just really feel like it's crucial in this world right now for people to feel like they have some form of autonomy, that it isn't just nothing matters. You matter. Life matters. This minute matters. today matters. It can. You can choose at any time. So, I guess how, like, it's not as simple as just go make art, right? A lot of you are like, what am I supposed to fucking make? I'm not an artist. I haven't figured that out yet. Well, you know what? I get it. I've been there. I feel like there's so many forms of art out there. I was supposed to turn this fan off. Damn it. And the air off. Damn it. Hope the audio is fine. But how do you do this? Well, it's going to be a slow process, but obviously you can dabble in it day by day. Try something new. Try something that sounds interesting. Try something that sparks you. Whatever. But I really think it can be as simple as blocking out the noise. Stop there. And then self-trust. And I'm gonna read something I wrote recently in my journal. Once again, I was like, news to me, even though it's way more recent. It was from early September. I put the path. Everything in me tells me I'm on the right path. Every sign I see, every dream, every breath. And yet it still feels hard to choose this. Heavy. I've never liked being the detonator. But at some point, things have to change. And pent-up change tends to get explosive. It's not my fault. I'm extra flammable. I don't really know why I've added that. I guess because sometimes it feels like choosing yourself feels like you're not choosing others. But ultimately, it's still the path you're going to end up on. Finding yourself until you found it. Until you found that person. And you can find it as long as you want. Get it? I get it. But eventually you have to shed what isn't for you for what's for you to find you. Say that 10 times fast. And I also want to say, like, it's okay if you don't know who you are today. I'm gonna play a quick excerpt from another video that, like, I really want to implore you to check out. I hadn't seen this podcast yet, but it's a live with Steve Burns.
Later.
Ooh, this one was he's interviewing Jamie Lee Curtis, and obviously that's epic. But this was like in his intro, so I'm gonna play it.
So we're always curating, in a way. We're always sort of presenting these different versions of ourselves for other people. And I guess they're all supposed to be authentic, whatever that means. And if I'm honest, I don't even think I know which one is the real me most of the time. Because I'm constantly clocking what other people are thinking. Do you do that? Yeah. I mean, I'm always editing. I'm always adapting. I'm always like shrinking or expanding or pruning myself to meet other people's expectations. And that can get exhausting. It can really get to you, you know? And so today, I was wondering, what would it be like if we didn't do that? What would it be like if we stopped caring so much about what other people thought? What do you think? Yeah. Come on.
Okay.
First of all, I really like the style of his podcast. It really takes you back. Obviously, that's the guy from Blue's Clues, if y'all haven't figured that out. I rediscovered him through Rainn Wilson's podcast, but I feel like what that tells us is, like, it's okay to not know if you don't know who you are. if you don't fully know who you are. It's our lifelong journey to do that. Some people are faster, some people are slower. It's our own path. So it's okay if you don't have the answers, but I guess just if there's anything I can impart on you today, it's choose yourself. Choose yourself. And don't hold it in. Find a way to let out your pain, your grief, anything negative or toxic that's built up in you. We don't need it. We don't need it. There's enough out there. Trust me, I could go on and on about current events surrounding autism, which is another reason why, like, I had to do this video this week, because people are fucking dying. Period. But, like, with autism, with mental health issues, without resources, good fucking people are dying. You can't tell me that anybody really cares about that right now. Like, at least, I don't know. I'm rambling now. But, like, good people are dying. And if being angry is what propels you to fucking move forward, love it. Blow up the fucking joint. And with that in mind, I guess I'm gonna read the fucking poem that prompted my essay that I read earlier, and it felt like the poem to explain my feelings right now as I grieve my old friend, the kindred spirit, the beautiful soul that took their own life. And I can only hope that you take something from it. So I'm just gonna read it and shut up. This one's called The Queen's Gambit. From early March. I'm here to reclaim what's mine, that was stolen from the beginning of time. It's silly that I even have to do this, but if I don't, I'm sure to regress. I regret what was allowed to be done to me before I ever learned how to bleed. Now it pours out of me like lava, burning amongst a rather large armada. No, I'm absolutely not alone, and it's turned so many of us into drones, but I'm here for you until the end of the time, as I've already been stripped of my prime, so I'll break open the wall so sound it nearly forced me to completely drown. The darkness that showcases all of my fears for eternity, you bet I wouldn't be spared. So here I am, taking what I already own, but of course had no idea until I was grown. I didn't mean for you to look a clown, but disruption is where I stake my crown. Do what you gotta do to survive. Period. Focus on yourself and care for others. Please, it is that simple. Check on your people. Let love lead and keep dreaming. Keep dreaming. That's all I got. Here for you. Ta-ta for now. Put an emoji for what any of this made you feel, if you got this far. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on anything, whatever. If you want, you know, you can like, share, save any of my shit. It helps my channel, it helps all of it. Keep burning. Keep burning. I'm here for you. Ta-ta for now.